Virginia police said a woman is accused of trying to hide her mother's body by covering it with blankets and using air fresheners. Investigators were called to a home on Pine Street. Bristol, Virginia police said they found a decomposing body believed to be Rosemary Outland. Police charged her daughter, Jo Whitney Outland, with concealment of a body. Jordan Moore spoke with Outland about the charges she faces.
Well, my conversation with Outland was unexpected today as she stood not far from the home on Pine Street where she told me she lived day in and day out next to her mother's decomposing body. In an emotional interview this afternoon, telling me she regrets not calling police right away.
She woke up and said, "I can't breathe. I can't breathe." And I went over to her and I said, "Mom, what's wrong? You can't breathe." And then she died. I tried to give her CPR, and it didn't work.
As Jo Outland describes in her own words how her mother died inside this Bristol, Virginia home back in December.
And I miss her so much.
It became clear that losing her mother was too much to bear.
I love my mother more than anybody in this world ever. We were the closest you could possibly imagine.
But what brought us to Bristol wasn't the death of Jo's mother, rather what happened after she passed.
Yes, I put air fresheners around her body because I was in the room with her every night after she died, except for this past Monday.
And it was on Monday when Detective Sergeant Steve Crawford said they were notified by other family members there may be a decomposing body inside this home on Pine Street. And when they went inside to look for themselves,
the body was in a chair and her legs were propped up, but the whole thing was covered in blankets. And there was air fresheners on top of the blankets, around the chair, and in between the layers of the blankets. See, it was blankets in some article of clothing, but it counted to 54. Even the amount of air fresheners, and we counted what we saw was 66. They became overwhelming.
I covered her up out of respect for my mother. And I covered her up with blankets. Yes, I did.
When we asked Jo why didn't she call police right away once she thought her mother was dead?
I can't explain to you how come I couldn't, except to tell you that I was in a situation where I couldn't react, okay? I don't know how to explain it. I don't know what it's called, but I went into a mode of just do all the things you do and come back and stay by your mother. I don't know how to explain any of that.
And Bristol, Virginia police officials tell me that during this time there were other animals, cats and dogs, inside the home with that decomposing body, but added that they were well taken care of and have since been moved out of the home by animal control.
Jordan, thanks. Sergeant Steve Crawford said the body has been taken to the medical examiner's office in Roanoke for an autopsy to determine the official cause of death. Outland is due back in court in the coming weeks for an arraignment hearing.